Well, happy Monday, Thrivers. It is good to have you here. You know, we're nationwide, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. We're live every single day, and I'm actually going to be real honest with you. I'm actually currently not in studio here on Monday because I pre-recorded this because I'm actually going to be out of studio at a really, really cool project. We've partnered with some really cool friends who are making some really cool kids content, and we're gonna unpack that in a minute. So no, this isn't live right at this moment, but join me on this journey as we just kind of unpack all the things that God's doing here at the Miracle Channel, through Thrive, through relationships. It's just awesome to see what God's doing. I'm joined by our very own friend, family, and VP at Miracle Channel, Jeff.
Oh, Jeremy, so good to be here with you. My goodness.
It's good to get you on screen. You know what I mean? It's like I see myself way too often on all these things, and it's you and I are always meeting and connecting dots and getting projects across the finish line and honestly delivering on promises that are being made to our donors. And so every once in a while, I love the fact that you and I get to talk here, share everything that's happening. And sometimes we have a hard time kind of articulating, okay, what do we share? Because there's so much happening. There's
so fun.
There's a lot going on.
And it's really because of the donors at home who have reached in, taken some hard-earned money and sent it our way to say, Lord, take this seed and let it multiply.
Absolutely.
And I just love the fact that, you know, people were obedient, listened to the Holy Spirit and said, yeah, I want to be a part of something bigger. I have a vision for Canada. And they believe it. We believe it. God's got lots coming for Canada.
I was in church yesterday and I had some lady come up to me. Actually, it wasn't a lady. I had a friend of mine come up to me saying, there's this lady here who wants to meet you. And I was like, oh, cool. But she was watching one of your guys' shows and you recommended the church. She wrote an email in, so she called in, then sent an email. Then we responded to the email and told her where Springs Church was because she was looking for a great church. And of course, I endorsed my own church because I was like, I believe in it. And
hope so.
She comes up to me and she goes, I was watching one of your programs and now I'm here at church. This is the first time. And I had someone confirm it for me because I bumped into a lady at a restaurant. She was like, and they started talking church. She goes, I need a great church. And anyway, all this to be said, she came, brought her daughter, her granddaughter, and a family member. She brought 4 people, including herself, 4 people. And one of them got saved that day. And it was through the power of media. Like, you know what I mean? The content being shot, being made, for her being moved, to being reached out to seeing the phone number on the screen, calling it. And it's just the ecosystem that's been created. And that's just one little kind of mini sample size of the impact of media.
But that person getting saved, Jeremy, that person getting saved means everyone who's partnered with us can share in that beautiful, wonderful moment. Of salvation, and that is what it's all about, really.
We hear about them all the time, and you're so good at being like, we got to talk about that. You got to talk about it. And he's right. You're totally right, because like we hear about all these testimonies of people being saved and devotionals being read, and just the impact.
Okay, Jeremy, I got to unpack one little thing here, because just before I got on this TV thing, it was just crazy. Where one of our financial institutions is asking a bunch of probing questions. So it was like, is this getting somebody scamming? Somebody trying to take money from us, or how that went? But they were concerned because there's a whole bunch of communication we're having to Venezuela, and they're checking in to see how that connection was.
So they're doing their due diligence to be like, what in the world are you doing connecting with Venezuela?
Yeah.
And we were like, well, and then once we actually pull the threads, it's actually our devotional, right?
Yeah, 6,000 people in one of the worst countries in the whole world are listening and reading the devotional every day.
Yeah.
Well, that is life-changing to those 6,000 people. And you know what? People who are giving to facilitate people in Venezuela reading it in Spanish and their lives being changed.
Which is so cool.
It's just
got the attention of the authorities.
Yeah, he's like, what are they doing over there?
So much communication going back and forth, which is awesome, because that's exactly what it's about. And it's going in their language, and that's happening all over the world. We got emails going out regularly. We got people ordering
I think there's like 112 nations or 130 countries that we go to. Yeah,
awesome.
And so that's just a blessing, right? Then people are saying, okay, is your dollar making a difference? Yes, your dollar makes a difference.
Yeah, it really is. And for those who are at home, my goal is to communicate as much as we possibly can, because God's put so much on our heart, and it's no accident that God put this channel in Canada, and he's trusted us with it, and he brought you along for the ride. If you're a donor, you're making it happen. And I really want to make that clear. You are the hero here. You're the one making this content happen, and we're just the stewards who are in these positions to kind of connect the dots. And so to you as a donor, thank you so much. And if you're maybe not a donor, you're thinking about it, don't underestimate the power of a small gift, a small monthly $20 or $30 or $40 a month. And so you can call the number on your screen, become a donor of the Miracle Channel, and get your fingerprint on the DNA of the Miracle Channel that's going to get the gospel out. Get your stamp of approval, because I believe there'll come a day in the award ceremony of heaven where God calls up the Miracle Channel family, and there's an announcement. Can I call up all the donors of the Miracle Channel? Like, think about how,
it's
seriously.
awesome.
And the Bible talks about the award ceremony for these things. If you do, what does it say? If you get something as simple as a cup of water to a person, that it's written in a book of awards. And so never mind the people who are giving of their hard-earned money in a cost of living that's so difficult, where they're sacrificially giving so that we can make content, get the gospel out, get people in the Word of God, which changes their lives and transforms their lives.
6,000 Venezuelans are saying thank you for giving them a glass of water every day, for changing their life that day.
Yeah.
So, completely ties into what our mission is, to change the world. We have an incredible passion for Canada, and we're unique in Canada. There's nothing like this here in Canada. So, you know, people who say, I still have a heart for Canada, not just Venezuela or Cuba or beyond, but for Canada too, because we're making a difference here.
Yeah, we really are, and unique is a good word, because we've got the ability to make media. Obviously, this is a live show, so we do live television. We also kind of have we have Citizen, Leaders on the Frontier. We have all these.
You know, let's just talk for just a moment.
Yeah, they're huge.
What Citizen and Leaders are doing is just terrific.
So for those who don't know,
how much impact,
what those are. So those are both like video podcasts. So they're available on podcasts, available on YouTube if you want to watch. But essentially what they're doing is they're bringing attention to political, not political, issues. Relevant issues in the country.
Yes.
That's a better way to put it. Relevant issues in the country. Because it's not it's partisan. It's not picking one party over the other.
Not at all.
It's very much going for the issues, because we as Christians need to be relevant, up to date, in touch, and know what to think about what's happening in the world.
Do not be uninformed.
Absolutely.
Do not be ignorant of the things going on.
Yes. And so, but we're seeing a huge response from that. Like, the lady that told me that she saw our show was from Citizen.
Really?
Yeah.
And they came to church. I love that.
She emailed Citizen to find a church. How cool is that? And I was like, come on. I know, she wrote the Connect card. She's like, it was just so cool, because I'm like, I just wouldn't, it's just so cool. Yeah. And so that's from Citizen. And we're seeing, and I mean this, thousands and thousands and thousands of views. One video on one of the Leaders on Frontiers got 100,000 views in 1 week.
Two of them did. Two of them, like, just, it's starting to really roll right now, right?
Like, think about how big that is.
But that's the beauty of partnering. We have friends, they want to do something, we get together, we brainstorm, we thank God for bringing the right people together in the room, and then all of a sudden, God blesses in amazing ways.
For sure. And so, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, we sometimes have a hard time figuring out which things to share with all of you guys, because there's a lot happening. I can remember back, we went to a conference in, in Texas last year. Remember that? And then all of a sudden we went out for dinner with one of these guys that were there, and I asked him, I said, so what brought you here to Texas? And he looks at me and goes, you. And I went, what? Like, you flew here for us? He's like, yes. And then I was like, I didn't know, what do you mean me? And then he essentially just said, like, we want to partner with you. And I was like, about what? And essentially he was just being like, oh, we got an idea. You guys are a broadcaster. We have common values. What if we worked together and did a project together? And so that was the beginning stage of what's now fully in production. And as you are seeing this, I'm currently on that set of the production in Canada. And so I got a few clips here that he sent us, and this is very raw. Like, it's not like beautifully edited together, but it is quite beautiful, actually. You'll see the footage here. But this is shots from the content being shot in Nova Scotia, that the people we partnered with. And the point I want to make there to you is that we're getting influence in realms where people want to fly to us to meet us so that they can create Christian content. They can make amazing content that we can partner with our license, because we're a licensed broadcaster. Not everyone can do that. And so we can do a lot of things with people, and we're very unique in that sense, where we not only do the news from Bridge City News or Citizen or Leaders on Frontier or Thrive, but we're very multifaceted.
Can we just pause just for a moment and just go rewind the clock? Because I remember when you first came over as CEO, one of the passions you said, I have a passion for kids. I have a passion for kids. Yeah. And I was like, go, Jeremy, go. Because the kids, it's the next generation. And so it was like, what can we do to support? And you went on and talked to some of the partners and said, I really, really want to get moving on kids programming. And so this is really...
I still feel very strong about that.
Oh,
and
incredibly.
we're going to continue to go down that road, but we got to figure out the best approach to it, and this is a really cool way to start.
Yeah, this is a great way to start, and give the vision for those who are at the other side watching the show, and say, yeah, I want to be a part of what you're doing, Jeremy, what Miracle Channel is up to, and see what God can do when we put our pennies together and make something amazing.
Totally. So do you want to give them a quick scope of what this project is, and then I'll hit play on it? Yeah,
sure. This is the title of the thing is Barnyard Kids, and I don't know if anybody had seen. I certainly remember the book Boxcar Children.
Oh, okay.
Little Rascals.
That was mine.
Little Rascals is for sure. Boxcar Children is another one, but it's sort of the same kind of a deal. The storyline is that there's some orphans who are escaping from an orphanage, and they congregate together in a barn, and then they go on all kinds of adventures looking for treasure, and they find They find all kinds of neat little things about how God has purpose for their life, and really learning about leadership, learning about other things, learning about values.
Yep.
And so the whole show is going to be on values, and there's people who have already saw the script and said, we're so interested in doing this. So this is going to cascade into something much bigger, I believe.
And they're in partnership with Angel Studios as well as us.
Yeah, a guy from Angel Studios called up and said, I want in.
I want in too. And so we're in there with Angel Studios, and it's just so cool that I remember years ago talking about someday making films and movies of these kinds, and this is like we're walking through those doors now, and it's only going to get bigger if we continue to be stewards of what we're doing and we continue to partner. We'll do greater and greater projects. And you and I were literally talking about like buying the studio behind this wall so that we could build more studios. and immediately our brain obviously is like, okay, we got to figure that out, financial strategy. But that's where the vision's at, is that it's so big that we need to make so much content that we got to expand so we can do more. And it's the best bang for buck. And so I got this quick video here. You'll see this is just a visual. There's no audio on this, so it's just a visual of one of the shots of as they were setting stuff up they wanted to show us. So he sent us a couple quick clips to show you a few of the shots that these guys are working on. So I'll hit play here, and this is of the barn. You'll see. So this is of the barn here. It's a moving shot, and it's just beautiful. You can kind of see the high production value they have here. And this is like, I guess, one of the main sets of the Barnyard Kids. And then I'm going to slide here to what do we got here? We got this one. This is of these kids, I guess, are running away from, I guess, whoever's searching for them. I don't know, in the barn. So you can see there's the horse stalls there, and this lady's searching for them. And you can just see the beauty, how well it's shot. Like, if you know production and cameras, you know how difficult it is to make something look this good. And it has that high cinematic look and cinematic value to it.
I was saying to Luke, who's doing this project, I said, this looks like Hollywood.
It does.
It literally looks Hollywood.
There's no question. As soon as I hit play on it, I was like, this has high value.
Yeah.
And the difference is, like, you'll sometimes watch some shows and you go, oh, what is it about that? And that's a low production value. When it has a high production, it pulls you in, it feels good, looks good, the color grading, the lighting is nice, and this right away has that. And so I want to hit play on this. This has a little bit of dialogue of the kids, so I'll turn this up. So this has a little bit of dialogue of these two characters talking to each other in the barn, and it's I'll show it to you for about 20 seconds here. So it's very raw, it's unedited.
Me too. What I said about you not being ready, I didn't mean it like that.
But you're right. I got carried away. I just wanted to protect it all. The barn, the kids, everything. In the end, I was really only thinking about myself. And that's not being a real leader.
No, we all learn as we go, Rook. Every leader makes mistakes. No one's perfect. I mean, look at me. I let fear get the best of me and wasn't fully honest about my feelings with you guys. For the first time ever, I just don't know how to keep my promise. It seemed so simple when I was younger.
I don't know either.
For those who maybe don't know what we're looking at, that's a side-by-side of two shots that obviously it won't look that way. But that's a side-by-side of two shots of them shooting the two-way conversation. Eventually, obviously, it would be edited properly, but that's kind of the director's cut, I guess, where the director can look at it that way and see it. But it's really cool to see these things coming into fruition. And like, one of the things that's really cool that maybe we should touch on is the doors that God is opening through actually Thrive and through some of these relationships. I haven't even told you this yet. I was actually supposed to tell you this when you and I met, but I got to meet with what I think might be another future project we do with a really cool Canadian doctor who's a passionate man of faith who went to Angola, and he's worked there his whole life to get the gospel there, and as a Canadian has been a force for the gospel and has gone through wars and civil wars and being bombed and surgeries and hospitals.
Oh my goodness.
And
That's
I met him yesterday.
Yep.
Sat down for breakfast with him, and we talked for 2 hours about the gospel. And it's just cool because I'm sitting across this table with all these men who are massively influential, and God's trusted them all to be stewards of these things. And that's essentially what I said to him at the end. I said, I don't know fully how I can help you, but I said, first of all, we need to get you on Thrive. I need to introduce you to our people. We need to share your story. Yeah. And I said, maybe we'll shoot a film or a movie about this because it's so cinematically wild, the stories he's telling us about driving ambulance patients through minefields to get to the surgical room. Like, you're just like, oh, what? and now he's just trying to fire up the next generation to pick up the cross and keep going. I'm like, wow. Like,
that's spectacular.
It's so crazy.
You know, God has called people all across in every way to really reach those around them. And, you know, what a beautiful story of a guy who said yes. He put up his hand and said, yes, send me. You know, like, oh, I love that when people respond to the call of God in their lives.
And that's exactly it, is that, like, it was very cool to kind of sit there together and see what God has trusted us with and our responses to it, and how in partnership, the power that's there. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not interested in being the hero and trying to just do everything on our own. I'm very interested in partnering, because it's like, what's that saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's like, that's the way I believe God has designed us to work.
One thing, we're just talking about partnerships again, and you should have them on. Peter and Lori.
Oh, yeah.
I partnered on another project, which is so fun. Yeah. But it's sort of like a Christian sitcom. It's not like a pure Christian. There's lots of Christian references and lots of scripture intertwined and stuff like that, but it's called The Good News. Yeah. And it's on...
it's really good. I was watching the clip. So again, this is like still on the cutting floor. They've already shot it. It's just being edited, but it's like, it's playfully funny, similar to the Office style feeling of it. And it's just awesome that we are at the front. We're in the front seat making this type of content. And so you guys, we'll keep you along for the ride to make sure you guys know where it can be found and where it'll air and all this type of stuff. But it's like, when I see the impact that media has, like, we interviewed on Thrive one of the lead producers of Light of the World. And that was an amazing...
Oh my goodness, what a great movie. What a great movie.
Oh man, it was so good. So we interviewed them, and it was so cool. But then when I actually went to the theater with it, it's one thing to see the people and know them and talk with them and hear their angle on it. But when I watched it and I sat next to my children, we walked out of the movie, and my 11-year-old daughter goes, "That was the best Christian show I've ever seen." And she literally was like, "It was so good." And I looked at her and went, "I actually was thinking the exact same thing." And I'm not just saying that because we're on Thrive and a part of Miracle Channel. It moved me. It was two-dimensional cartoon. Like, that's what it was. And so I was, in my head, I'm going, as a late 30s guy, what am I going to care about that for? Like, that's my cynical side. And I walked out going, that was so powerful. I was moved. You could feel the Holy Spirit in the theater. I'm serious. Like, it was just like, and I just walk out going, this is the power of media. If we tell stories like Jesus did, because you look at his parables, he didn't sit there with like 5 points. Here's your 5 points on my sermon and this. No, he told a story. Told a story about a guy sowing a seed, and then he just kept doing it, and that's the beauty of storytelling. And I think that's why it's one of the single greatest callings we have is to tell stories.
Well, I sure hope the people who were watching that show went to go see that movie.
Oh, yes.
Because we need to, as Christians, support great media. Yeah. And just like we're asking for people that support Miracle Channel and all the things we're doing, if there's other media, just support those people who are doing it, because that's frontline stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And by going to a movie, that helps make more movies in the future.
Yeah, it really, really does. And they're not going anywhere. Like, I think people often thought television's going away or this is going away, and the radio killed this, and television killed this, and it's like not all of them are still existing. They're just kind of adapting, and we're adapting with it. That's why we're doing not only podcasts on audio, but also video, and then we're doing and everything
the
we do.
YouTube and the other social media things you're doing. It's like getting like hundreds of thousands of views. When you add them up, millions and millions of views.
For sure. And
it's crazy.
And that's exactly it. And so we're continuing to evolve with the times, and we're hitting every front and every medium. And I think that's exactly what Jesus would do if he was here in the physical, is that he'd be on radio waves, on television, he'd be on news media, he'd be interviewed by news anchors, like he'd be a part of it all, because he'd be speaking to relevant issues that Christians need to be a part of. And I believe he would be making films, and he'd be asking you to partner to make films. And so that's why I do believe we're on the absolute right track, and we have to keep going.
One of the great partners we have is TBN, and I just think of we recently aired the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, and what a moving time that was to see it on there. Yeah. And you think of the 100,000 people in that stadium, but it literally affected millions. I know people across the country were watching it on our service, and we were the only broadcaster in Canada that covered it. Like, we're even talking to, I know this is crazy, guys, but TBN is good friends with the Turning Point USA guys. So they're actually talking about, Turning Point just announced they're doing a Super Bowl halftime show.
Which is so cool. For those who don't understand the backstory of that, so there's...
For young guys like Jeremy, he understands this.
So the Turning Point USA is doing a Super Bowl halftime show. And so you might go, why in the world? So they're not doing the Super Bowl halftime show. They're doing a Super Bowl.
Right.
So the Super Bowl picked... a very gross artist.
Disgusting,
his name's Bad Bunny, and he's just a bizarre man, and weird thoughts and bad lyrics, and just a horrible example, in my opinion, for the next generation. Someone that I was like, really, of all the people you could pick, you got to be absolutely kidding me. So Turning Point had a similar reaction where they said, fine, then we'll do our own. And so they're doing their own, and TBN's picking it up. And
you haven't confirmed. Yeah, right away, as soon as I heard, I was connecting with the guys.
And if they do, then we will pick it up probably.
For sure. 100%.
And it would be so cool. I love that. It's just.
But that's again the importance of media.
Yeah.
Super Bowl guys know the importance of media.
Oh yeah.
The devil sure knows about the importance of media, and so God. Man, I tell you, he's got people in place around this world there to just influence the world in our way. And our way is to get it out there. A message of Jesus everywhere.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And the thing is as we continue to go through these doors, meet more people, get into more partnerships, we're going to be making films at the absolute highest level someday. And I still think that that's one of the most important things we could possibly do. Of course, we're going to be helping the needy and feeding people and we're going to find any way we can. Absolutely, it is.
For sure.
And I think it's and. There's so many things it's either or. No, it's and. I think we do all of the above. Like even one of the guys that was at the table there, he's a surgeon that flies in around the world, but with Samaritan's Purse, and he's trying to connect us to Samaritan's Purse. And so I'm like, again, partnership, where I'm like, absolutely, let's talk with them and see how we can work together. Because we have strengths that they don't. We have media and news and cameras and storytelling and producers and content creators, all of it. And when you marry these worlds together, it's like that's what the body of Christ is most powerful at doing, is if we work together. And there's not enough Christians working together, I find sometimes, where it's just so, sometimes we get busy doing what we're doing and we need to partner together. So partnership is so vital, so important.
And you guys at home are literally our partners.
Yeah.
And I just want to emphasize again the importance of partnership.
Yeah.
When you think of, you guys at home saying, I want to be a part of what Miracle Channel is doing, as soon as you say yes to that, now if you're praying for us, you're partnering. If you're standing with us and telling your friends about what's going on in the different shows, you're partnering with us. Anytime you promote us, that's a way of partnering. Not just giving money, but praying for us, believing with us, standing with us, encouraging others to watch.
Yeah.
That's partnership too.
I know, it really, really is. And the thing that's so cool is that when you get to see it in real time and you see the calls coming in and you see the testimony miracles on email and hearing of, because as you know, we have the phone number here and I hear about the phone calls that they have. Yep. And I hear about people talking people down from very dangerous, bad situations. And then some people call in and just go, I got no problems, no issues. I just want to say, keep doing what we're doing. And God is good.
Those too.
And we get all sorts. And so we get them all and we hear about it and we see the impact. And you don't always get to hear it or see it, and that's why we want to do these types of calls these types of shows to let you guys know what God's doing, how He's doing it, because it's just getting started. Like it's just the coolest thing ever, and I want to let you know what God is doing. It's awesome. It's powerful, and we got to keep going.
But maybe I could encourage people when we talk about partnership and just sort of going along that path of not necessarily just having to give. That's not the only form of partnership.
Yes.
But if they were to go looking up Thiessen and liking it, and just making a comment or liking it or sending it off or sharing it, or going to our Miracle Channel Facebook, or going to Frontier and liking it. Every time somebody does that, that helps the system sort of show other people and talk and increase our audience everywhere.
Yeah, that's a really big deal, actually, and we're almost out of time here, but that is a big deal. If you guys jump onto YouTube and you watch Real Citizen, you search Real Citizen, CTZN actually is exactly how you spell it, and then it'll show David and I. You'll see the podcast there. If you guys interact, first of all, I have full confidence that when you watch that show, you will go, oh, that's happening? Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh my gosh, I need to share this to this person. I do that as I'm watching my own show. I'll watch that and be like, I need to share it to this person. I need to send it here. So very relevant content. And the same thing for if you search up on YouTube, Leaders of the Frontier, you'll find David Leese's program with top-notch guests that are just like really brilliant people, and they'll educate you, and you'll walk away going, I didn't know any of this, and you'll want to share it, I promise you. So it's important that you get tech savvy, that you jump on YouTube, that you download the app. It's really important that we stay in touch with these things, so that as the government brings across these things, that we are sharp, that we know which mayor to select, that we know which election to do, what premier is the best option, that you as a Christian are very well educated, that you are sharp to handle the current events, and that's what we're here to do. So that's why we're hitting kind of all these fronts, is we want to get the believers to be very, very sharp in the Word, but also with current events, to stay in touch with everything that's happening, so that we as believers can know what we're doing. So we hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of glimpse into behind the scenes, what God's doing, all the partnerships we have, because God is doing amazing, amazing things. Thank you, Jeff, for joining today.
No, it's so fun, Jeremy. Thanks for inviting me.
So enjoyable. God bless you guys. We'll see you same time tomorrow.
Thrive.